So there's a national security threat from Chinese EVs, so maybe keep them out. Is that an excuse to keep China's EVs out of America so they don't compete with our EV industry?
I don't care if it's an excuse or not. We need to keep Chinese EVs out of America, and we've got to stop this insane push to make every car in America EV. Look at the results. China is going to lead the world in EV production. Now, the fact is they don't use, green energy over in China to produce the EVs. They use coal. But that's par for the course for the Biden administration. They do everything in their power to elevate and help China in its quest for world dominance, and do everything in their power to put down American interests.
What is the national security threat from EVs from China? That they could really spy on people driving around, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. All of these EVs are connected, and they're connected to the internet. They're connected through satellites, and so and they can be directed. A lot of these are going to be self-driving, and so God knows what kind of instructions they can get from China if we have a bunch of Chinese, EVs, self-driving EVs running around America. Yeah, it's a national security threat, and yes, a lot of them look at us and what are we doing? What are we listening to? What are we saying? Yeah, all that stuff can be sent right back to China because, again, like I said, all these EVs are connected to the internet and they're connected to satellite systems.
I'm going to move on to a story which you may have a connection to. Squad members Ilhan Omar and Pramila Jayapal made a secret visit to Cuba. They met government officials and discussed, of all things, human rights. Congressman, now you were born in Cuba. Why are people from the U.S. Congress making a secret trip to a communist dictatorship? Why are they doing that?
Because they're apologists for communist regimes and regimes around the world that oppress their people. Look, the Cuban people have been oppressed by this regime for over 60 years. There's no freedom of religion, no freedom of expression, no free elections, nothing. And the number of hundreds of protesters that took to the streets back in July of 2021, a lot of them disappeared. There are thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Cubans that are fleeing the island, have fled the island. Many of them have perished in the Florida Straits. Many of them have made the trek over to the southern border to come in. Why are they leaving this paradise? Okay, why? Because it's a hellhole. That's why. It's everybody's miserable and they want to get out of there. But in the eyes of Jayapal and Omar, this is the place that we need to talk about human rights and how we protect human rights, around the world. Look, the problem that they have is this. That's their philosophy. They're socialists, and that's being kind. And so they look around when you get to Cuba. That's what you want to make America, and that's why I'm fighting those two in particular and the whole movement as a whole.
Why secrecy? Why was no announcement made anywhere about this? Why?
Well, because it may cost them politically. And look, there's never going to be a secret. The Cuban government was going to expose them. So, no, it shouldn't have been secret. They are representatives of the United States. We need to know where they are and what they're doing there. It shouldn't be done in secrecy. And so, again, I condemn both of them for going there and even, talking to the Cuban authorities. Whatever the Cubans tell them, it's a lie. They've been lying to us for over 60 years, and they'll continue to lie to us. What we need to do as a country is see how we can help the Cuban people be free. That's all they want. And in July of 2021, when they were in the streets, they were asking for freedom. We need to be the beacon of freedom, the protector of freedom and democracy here in our hemisphere. And frankly, we don't do enough to help, our fellow neighbors attain that freedom.
Well said, Congressman. You can come back and repeat that message anytime you like. Congressman Carlos Gimenez, thank you, sir. Always appreciate it. Yes, sir.